Welcome to Bariatric Expert, the podcast that delves deep into the world of bariatric nutrition and surgery. I'm your host, Sherry Burke, a registered holistic nutritionist with a specialization in bariatric nutrition. I've been working closely with bariatric clients since 2008, helping them navigate their journey towards a healthier and more fulfilling life. In this podcast, we will bring you inspiring and informative interviews with real clients who've undergone bariatric surgery. Whether you're considering bariatric surgery, have already undergone the procedure, or are simply interested in learning more about this transformative field, this podcast is for you. So hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in today. In a moment, I'm going to introduce our first guest, or as I like to call our guests, bariatric rock stars, because that's what they are. We have a fun-filled episode for you with one of my favorite people who's going to join us to discuss his bariatric journey. I think you're going to find his story really relatable. He really understood the assignment when he decided to have surgery. He did not mess around. We're going to talk a little bit about his ups and downs since bariatric surgery. I have this huge connection, I feel, with my guests because I've been able to watch them and work with them throughout their entire journey. They allowed me to be part of their life-changing event, and I feel like we share a special bond. With that, I'm going to get right into it. Our first guest, Rick Capezza, had his VSG, or vertical sleeve gastrectomy, on May 22nd of 2020. At this moment in time, he's over 3 years post-op, and I have to say time flies because it feels like yesterday when Rick and I first started working together. A little bit about Rick. He's born in New York City, NYC, grew up in Wausau, Oklahoma, but he's currently residing in the state of Idaho. He's an extremely interesting human being. So Rick's technical titles are Director of Concordia Clinical Institute and the School of Military Spiritual Formation. He's a clinical pastoral education supervisor and a professor of clinical pastoral psychotherapy. He's an ordained interspiritual priest, a grief counselor, dementia practitioner, clinical trauma professional, and what else? He's a yoga instructor. Wow. Rick also moderates a bariatric support group online, and he's involved with the bariatric community. And with that, I want to welcome Rick Capezza, who's a bariatric expert and really a rock star in our community. So Rick, thanks for taking the time today. I know how busy you are. Sit down, spend a few minutes chatting about your journey.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you having me on today. And as you mentioned, I'm 3 years out of my surgery. I don't know if I'm a bariatric expert, but honestly, this is the first year I've been public about my surgery because for a long time I worried that what people would think, that they would think that I took the easy way out. And I've had a bit of a shift in the last year, to be honest. And let me tell you why. I remember becoming weight conscious in the second grade. Both of my parents were morbidly obese, and I was introduced to a diet mentality at a very young age. I was what was called husky back then.
Nice.
My weight wasn't really out of control, but I was a little thicker, but I was also really active. But when my parents did Slim Fast and Weight Watchers and Richard Simmons Meal a Deal or Deal a Meal, along with them. I was a 3-sport athlete in high school, but when I went to college, all of that activity stopped. And I started to gain weight. And then I got married and I became a parent and I really started to gain weight. And as soon as pretty soon I was on my own diet train, Nutrisystem, Atkins, paleo, juicing, VDP, yoga, and they all worked for a little bit. I lost over 100 pounds multiple times, and it was really hard work. But the thing about it was that my brain was constantly thinking about food. And that's really been the game changer with bariatric surgery. My life is no longer food obsessed.
Really important point you just brought up, and about how this kind of unfolded for you. I think that our listeners would appreciate hearing about what made you take the decision after everything that you tried to have weight loss surgery. Like, how did that unfold for you?
So honestly, I spent about 2 years in weight loss surgery online groups. I met with one surgeon and it really didn't feel right. I was working in hospice at the time, and one of the facility administrators at a facility that I would visit had gone to Dr. Verbunam at the Obesity Goodbye Clinic, and she told me about your Facebook group. So I lurked in there for a bit, and I came across this video about ghrelin and set point. And the video said that our body had this natural set point, and that whenever you hit it and went below it, your body would just kind of start freaking out and try to get back to that point. And that it took up to 7 years to naturally reset your set point. And I knew my set point. I knew after all these times I'd lost weight over 100 pounds multiple times, 330. That was the weight I kept on getting down to, and I would be okay. And then my body would start freaking out every time I got below that weight. So after watching that video, I got on the phone with you, and that was a whirlwind conversation. And before I knew it, you had me on the schedule 1 month out. And if you hadn't done that for me, I probably would have kicked the idea around for another 2 years, to be honest.
So Rick, what was your highest weight when you first made contact? When we first made contact, and then what was your surgery weight, and what is your weight today?
I honestly don't know what my heaviest weight was because I did not have a scale that went beyond 460 pounds. It took me 2 months of daily diet perfection and exercise just to get under that 460, just to weigh myself. But I had lost weight in the past, and I knew about what it took to get about a certain amount of weight off. And I knew I could drop about 30 or 40 pounds a month. So for those 2 months, to get under 460, I had to have been north of 500 pounds. And by the time I had surgery, I got down to 365 through diet and exercise. But by that point, I had done it so many times, I no longer believed that I could keep it off. Losing weight wasn't the hard part. It was keeping the weight off. That was always the hard part for me. And today I've settled at about 195 pounds.
And we're about the same height, I think. You and I are both about 5'7", 5'6", right?
Wow. Wow. I would like to say I am 5'8" and 3/4.
I was wearing high heels last time we saw each other. So you're 5'8" and a half. You're settled at 195.
3/4.
Sorry, let's call it 5'9". Let's just call it 5'9", right? Let's call it what it is. It's 5'9". And so you had a really dramatic weight loss. You have some fantastic photos too that I'm going to share online. And I love that you're so open about this journey before, because I know it wasn't always like that. Your cosmetic surgery journey. So after what weight or what made you decide to have the second part of the transformation done?
So, at the beginning of 2020, I was 447 pounds. And that was really the last time I hopped on the diet train. Like I said, I was 365 by my surgery, so 4 months later. And then after that surgery, I lost 183 pounds in that first year. So that was exactly 50% of my body weight from my surgery date. And that's really where I stabilized first with my weight loss. And I was there for about 6 months. And yeah, plastic surgery, that was a bit rougher on me.
Yeah.
Bariatric surgery was not too bad. But I've had 3 skin removals. The first was a 360-degree fleur-de-lis abdominoplasty, which means I was sliced all the way around my waist, 360 degrees, and then all the way from my waist up to my sternum. And that was the first surgery. Second surgery was a brachioplasty and mastopexy, which means the arms and the chest. So I went from elbow down my side, across the chest, through my sternum, back up the other side. And then the third surgery was a thighplasty, which was from my knee all the way up my thigh to the inside of my butt cheek. And people always think that, wow, that must be painful. The cutting part isn't really the bad part. It's the swelling and the bruising that get to you over time. And the abdominoplasty was also hard, though, because Dr. Garcia, who is my plastic surgeon, he retightened all those stomach muscles. So it takes a while for that to loosen back up.
Yeah, those are huge surgeries, huge recoveries. If you compare bariatric surgery to cosmetic surgery, 2 different beasts altogether. I really want to ask you, after all this surgery, what is it that you're doing now? You look great. To make sure that you maintain your weight loss, that this is something long-term for you, because we all know this is a lot of, we're going to talk a lot about regain, in the upcoming episodes. It's something we can't hide from. It's the reality of weight loss surgery. So what is it that you're going to do to maintain your fantastic results?
You talk about us being bariatric rock stars. I would like to think of myself as more like a bariatric indie folk singer.
A backup singer.
But not a backup singer, but more like, the indie folk singer, because I definitely not a backup singer. I am a star.
You see, I told you, you're a rock star. Yeah, for sure. Big personality, super smart, super fun, and super motivating.
Why I say a folk singer is because this is the first time in my life I've gotten to be chill about diet and exercise. Before surgery, I don't think I realized just how stressed I was about every meal. And a lot of people after the surgery, they follow like a strict keto diet. But we all have our individual biodiversity, and I don't like to cook. I eat mostly carbs. My favorite breakfast is an acai bowl with some protein powder and strawberries and blueberries and bananas and granola and a little bit of honey, like crackers and cheese, nuts, grapes. I honestly don't eat very many vegetables, and I honestly don't cook that much. If I cook, I'll have, burgers, tacos, and I eat out quite a bit, and I just try to make sensible choices whenever I eat out. So I like to go to Panera and eat the roast turkey avocado BLT. But I'm also getting the chips and that chocolate chip cookie. I'm not the salad sort of person. Not that I stay pretty active. But again, I'm not obsessed with exercise. I lift weights about 45 minutes, 2 days a week. I practice yoga maybe 1 to 2 hours a week if I'm lucky. But most of my exercise is just being outside. I try to walk my dog a couple miles every day. Maybe once or twice a month, I'll do a 5 or 10 mile hike. But I honestly just love to wander around and get lost.
Yeah. I find that you're a very active person. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're in the gym 5 days a week, but your energy also, you're very, you're moving a lot, you're in motion a lot, you do a lot of things. I just find that activity level in general, walking the dog, it all counts. And it's really helping you to maintain your weight. And I think also that you really understand, if you see the scale moving in the wrong direction, you know what to do to get it back to where you want it to be.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people say they don't want to weigh every day. I do weigh every day. And I look at the scale and I notice that, hey, I'm going up 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds. When I hit that 5-pound mark, I'm saying, okay, let's quit the snacking. Quit all these little treats. I love to eat popsicles and frozen Greek yogurt bars. So I cut those out for a week or two, and then I get back down to my stable weight, and then I go back to my snacking every once in a while. But I do watch that very carefully.
So I'd love to follow up with you again 12 months from now, see where you are. Do you have any future plans or goals? Any special dietary advice you want to give people, or any kind of words you'd like to say to anybody out there listening? Because your story is really relatable.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to give anybody advice because I probably eat way too many Doritos, more than I should. But I would just say if you're on the fence about the surgery, just get it. It has been absolutely life changing. It's a transformative thing to go through. The amount of confidence that I have as I walk through life, I don't think about life in the same way because it really has changed the way I walk through this world.
Just want to really thank you for sharing your journey with us, because you're a bright light in our community. And thanks for being open about it, because I know in the beginning it was hard for you to be open about it, but you've had a swing now, a shift in that. And I'm going to put a link so others can share and join the bariatric online community where you moderate, and you actually motivate a lot of people on a daily basis by posting photos and making comments. So thanks for all you do, Rick. We're gonna sign off for now. Thanks a lot for being here.
All right, thank you.
I want to thank all our listeners today. Thanks for being a part of our bariatric community and listening to Rick talk about how he's had such great results with his sleeve. If you're hearing this message, it means you listened to our episode all the way to the end, and for that, I thank you. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and share this episode with your friends. And I have a great show coming up for you next week. We're going to be chatting with another one of my clients. They've got another journey to share with you. That's all I have for today. Healthy hugs. I'll be back soon. If you want to learn more about our show or purchase bariatric vitamins or bariatric recipe guides, free menus, you can head to the website bariatricfoodexpert.com or download the app Bariatric Expert. Also, don't hesitate to tell us which topics you'd like for us to cover in future episodes. Get in touch, drop us a line in the comments section, send us a message on social media. Signing off with Healthy Hugs, I'm Sherry Burke, your RHN bariatric nutritionist and host of this show.